Okay, I would like to call this meeting to order at 3:39.
All right. Should we just kind of go around for
Yeah, Kai Nguyen,
participants? Eric Sahakian,
Jackie Erdrich.
Ernesto Mora,
Cesar Ortiz.
Via Zoom.
And Brianna Taxoni via Zoom.
sorry, I'm interjecting just because we don't have it projected right now, the agenda. Then we have public comment. I don't know if we have, I don't see anybody online
No.
besides us. And then we have any opening comments by our board vice president.
I don't have any, I just have a question. I thought that we were talking about dashboard data, and this doesn't look like dashboard data. Is that a different meeting? Am I confusing?
No, great question, actually. So on the agenda for the Ed Subcommittee, we have two items. One is a dashboard update of 23-24. You're right. And then we also have listed kindergarten move from Meadowlark to the Acton site, which you see up on the screen right now. It was a request from the Facilities and Finance Board liaisons to bring this item to the Ed Subcommittee to have any questions about what prompted the request for floor space review, which impacts Meadowlark, and a discussion that was had at the Facilities and Finance Subcommittee at the last month's meeting to bring it forward here for the Ed Subcommittee because it does impact the education piece of the agreement between the two board liaisons there at the Facilities Finance to bring over kinder sections here to the Acton site as part of early childhood education. So that's why you see this there.
Okay.
Good question. And just because on the posted agenda, we do have, Brianna, we do have dashboard data first and then this presentation. But because we have the overlap today of two subcommittee meetings, one at 3:30, our meeting now, and then at 4 o'clock, the Facilities and Finance Subcommittee, we are requesting if we could go ahead and just swap the order of dashboard, which was first, to go second, and then for Kai and Ernesto to present the capital facilities project, which led into the proposal for kinder to move here, to go first, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have my email up, but well, now I do. But did I get the
PowerPoint.
agenda emailed to me? I don't remember seeing it. Was
I
if it
don't,
was
I don't believe I emailed it to you. It is on the, if you go to the calendar, it's in the calendar invite.
okay, perfect.
Forward to you
I'll
really
pull it
quick,
up.
because I have it open. Do you want me to forward it to you?
No, I'll pull it up in the calendar. Okay, I'm ready to go now. I'm sorry. I'm like a mess today. I apologize.
That's okay. I mean, we're all trying to get our bearings. It's Tuesday after, a 3-day weekend.
Yes, there we
All
go.
right, so kind of mentioned a little bit of an intro, but I'm going to turn it over for time's sake to Kai and Ernesto.
So, thank you, Dr. Sakian. So for the sake of time, Brianna, Paula, and members of the audience, I'm just going to give you an overview of what the Subcommittee for Facilities and Business Services has done. We met on several occasions. We did some thorough analysis, studies, options for the district, mainly the capital facility needs for the district, how to maintain and upkeep our facilities, and the costs involved in it. And we brought in consultants to help us out as well, just get some ideas. So what we did was, due to the number of students that are impacting Meadowlark, we looked at the cost involved of putting modular classrooms, expanding the number of classrooms at Meadowlark, and by moving our modulars classrooms or portables here at the district office to Meadowlark. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Move it to Meadowlark Elementary, and it's going to cost about $550,000 approximately just to move 2 classrooms over to Meadowlark. Also, we have to hire an engineer, also an architectural firm just to create the architectural design, send that to Department of State Architects for review and approval. And it's going to take about 9 to 10 months just to get that approved, just to get the overall project completed. We would have to go out for bid, a competitive bidding process to select a general contractor, subcontractors. And once we open the ground up at Meadowlark, there's going to be some unforeseen issues that may arise. So the committee decided to looked at other options. What can we do instead of costing $550,000 out of the general fund? That's just the bare minimum. What other ways can we do it? Where we looked at possibly moving 3 sections of the kindergarten. We have 3 sections of kindergarten at Meadowlark and move it to the district office. That will save the district time, but most importantly, also the cost involved over a little bit over $500,000. And then the time it will take to put the modular classrooms, the portable back together and get approved by Department of State Architects. So that was one of the savings that district may have if we go with moving the kindergarten to the district office.
If I could interject really
Sure.
quick so that the board vice president kind of puts it in perspective as part of cost savings. Ernesto, could you share a preliminary quote in terms of just refurbishing the 3 here without any movement? What that cost was preliminary compared to the 550,000 that we see on the screen, please.
Yes, it would be, what was it? We have it.
It's not in there. It's about
It
$50,000.
was around $50,000 to $60,000 to get 3 classrooms ready to be utilized here at the Acton site. And that would be including new flooring, painting, ceiling tiles, and some plumbing issues that we have. So that's how it would probably cost us around $60,000 versus 550.
A couple years ago, we were looking at putting classes back, and this was before I was on the board, so I don't know details, but they were looking at putting classes back at Acton, and they even discussed the name and blah, blah, blah. And then there was something permit wise or with county or the state where they couldn't do that. And then they kind of scrapped that idea. Do you remember what the barriers were then, just so we're not going to run into those same barriers this time?
Yeah, they were trying to build new walls in there and demo certain windows. This time it's just beautification, basically. We're not going to go into structural. We're not going to remove anything.
So the playground over
not-
there is safe to use. All of the fences are safe. The
We brought down
concrete
the
is
fences.
safe. Everything that the kids need to function over there as a school is all safe, and we're not going to run into problems where we didn't have permits and all that, because I know that was a big thing too. Why?
Yeah, it was a major construction that they were doing back then. We're not going to run into that problem right now. All we're doing is beautifying the classrooms.
Okay.
We're not going to do any, we're not going to remove walls or put in windows or any of that.
Well, I know it wasn't just the
Painting,
classrooms, though, is what
flooring.
I'm asking about. It was the concrete and it was the fences and it was the playground.
Yeah, the playground, we haven't done any changes to it, and we're not going to touch the playground. Because once you start touching the playgrounds, then you have to go into DSA and ADA.
So right now it's all approved and kids can.
Whatever there is there, got grandfathered in. We haven't done any changes to it. And we're not planning on doing any changes we don't want to get ourselves involved to a bigger problem down the road.
Okay.
And the fences took down. We took the fences down and got them DSA approved down to 4 feet all around the area of the front of the school. That was the main problem that we had. The fences were too high up. I think they were like 10 feet up, 9 feet. And we brought
Okay.
them down to 4 feet.
in the long run, when we're talking about staffing, because that's then staffing a whole new school. So when we're talking about staff, I realize that there's a difference between 60,000 and 550,000. But in the long run, are we going to, because we have to add more staff there, are we going to get up to that? Like how much are we saving when we're talking 10 years of hiring staff at a second school?
Well, I'm glad Jackie's here, but we've been, one, of course, moving, with the kinder move comes the kinder teachers. And we've had a preliminary discussion of, the utilization of those vacated rooms at Meadowlark. One high need, top priority is one additional special education classroom. So that would be one class that would need one additional teacher.
Correct.
Jackie, please chime in at any time. And bouncing some ideas off of course, administrators here, administration over at Meadowlark, as well as, of course, Dr. Chamberlain, in terms of some needs at Meadowlark. One point came up in terms of utilization would be a workspace for students, i.e. computer lab, workstations for students. But, as we're growing, these are the needs that we're looking at. I know the top priority again would be, at least for now, short term would be at least one additional special education teacher, perhaps one additional FTE teacher based on expansion, but
Correct.
Jackie.
And also, because of the fact that the cafeteria already provides lunch for the TK and preschool here, it would just be, creating the same amount of lunches that they normally do, just bringing more over than they currently do. So that doesn't affect the FTE. As far as instructional aides, whatever instructional aides may be in those classrooms now would be transferred to here. So again, it doesn't affect FTE. And we had talked about maybe bringing one of the office clerks over to here to support the school, because with that, with now 6 classrooms instead of 3, you are going to have more parents coming, phone calls and so forth. So we also discussed bringing over one of the clerks.
And we won't refill that clerk position at Metal, basically, at this time.
Correct.
So, and we're also discussing admin because with 6 classes, you're gonna need an admin as well. So we haven't made decisions. We're just kind of in that discussion area still with it.
So it sounds like instructional aides and teachers, it will be a wash, but having another admin, that's quite a bit of money. So when you're
Yes.
talking, I don't know off the top of my head how much an admin makes, but if you're talking 100,000 a year, in 5 years, you're going to be right at the same spot. So in 10 years, this is going to end up costing more in the long run.
I appreciate, yeah, thank you.
I know that's super simple math and I'm just a simple girl, so
No.
I could be completely wrong, but that doesn't make sense to me.
No.
No. I mean, it's a valid discussion point, and we talked about it internally as well. Trying to save general funds in long term. So it would be in our interest. And I have no intention of actually hiring one additional administrator for this expansion of early childhood. We have, including myself, administrators here to handle any administrative type of decision-making, emergencies, discussion with parents. And again, preliminary discussions, a possibility of taking a look at an internal TOSA to add a stipend for additional duties, if that's another option. But it's my intention not to hire an additional administrator. It could be handled in-house.
Okay.
But I appreciate the question, and that did come up, and that's something that is not on our radar to do.
So we're talking when the students start our district, TK or preschool, TK kindergarten, they'll start at Acton School. And then 1st through 4th grade at Meadowlark and still keeping 5th grade at High Desert? Or now are we talking about moving 5th grade down?
it's the former plan, tentatively, of what you mentioned, first through fourth over at Meadowlark, the early childhood center housing our, our pre-K, TK, kinder here at the Acton site, and then fifth grade remaining over at High Desert. The Facilities Finance Subcommittee board liaisons at the last meeting did ask us to kind of take a look into a possible facility survey or facility needs survey for the community. That's a discussion point or agenda item for today's 4 o'clock meeting to, review what kind of items they would want on there, because one idea that was floating around was the, possibility of fifth grade returning back to Meadowlark. But those are preliminary discussions, and we don't have an outline for the survey yet. But that was something that was discussed last month. But for now, 1 through 4th, status quo at Meadowlark, through 4th grade, I should say, status quo at Meadowlark.
Now my next question is why not put it back to the way that it was when Meadowlark was first built? Like when it was first built, it was kindergarten through 2nd. And Acton School was 3rd through 5th. So they went from Meadowlark to Acton, then to High Desert. Was that ever discussed to put the bigger grades over at Acton School and leave Meadowlark for the younger grades?
No, that option was not discussed. I didn't have that historical context, so thank you. But no, it hasn't been discussed up until this point.
Okay, is that something that can be discussed, since that's like the Meadowlark was built with the small classrooms, having all of the younger grades in the building with the hallway, just in case anybody got loose. The kindergarten class has the itty bitty restroom. Everything is set up there for the little kids. So if that's something that can be discussed, I would appreciate at least opening the discussion for that.
And it's great timing. So, I'm taking notes for the facilities and finance coming up. So when we talk about an outline to draft survey, that could be maybe an item as well. So just to reiterate, Brianna, was it K through 2nd and 3rd and 4th was here, or K through?
It was K through, hi to the new people that are coming in. Meadowlark was originally K through 2, and that was before we had preschool and TK. So it was kindergarten through 2nd grade, and Acton School was left for 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then 6th grade moved up to High Desert, and then 5th grade moved up to High Desert.
Got it. So we could definitely take this to the facilities and finance, as we're discussing a community survey regarding facility needs.
Yeah,
So
so
thank
it'd be
you.
like 3rd and 4th grade at Acton School, kindergarten through 2nd, or TK through 2nd at Meadowlark.
Okay. We'll definitely take that to the next subcommittee. Easy.
So Acton will be 3 and 4, as 4 was done before,
Or either
3,
3, 4,
6.
or 3 through 5.
3 through 5.
And then you still have the kindergarten playground at Meadowlark, you have the kindergarten restrooms, you have the indoor hallway for kindergarten, preschool, sped. That makes more sense to me to have the little kids at Meadowlark, but at least if there's a discussion about it, it would make me feel better whichever way you go.
Thank you for that.
So in essence, if we were to proceed with this route, we would save at least $550,000 in terms of avoiding DSA approval, working with the architectural firm, working with the general contractor, and the time it takes to put the modular classrooms back together. But year 1, we were looking at putting replacement of the new roofs. Go to the next one, which is gonna at High Desert in building 1, and then also building 2. We're looking at about $260,000, and then also putting a shade structure at Vasquez High School, which we really don't have a lot of shade out there, and when it gets hot and during March, April, May and June, students are trying to hide under certain areas so that they can avoid the sun. And then we're looking at landscaping at the Meadowlarks Elementary School as well, the portable classroom to be painted. So in essence, we're looking at about $550,000 for the first year, right? And then for the second year, we're also looking at roof replacement for the multipurpose room, and then the new roof for Meadowlark Elementary School to roof replacements. So again, these are just basic necessities that we need to address to maintain and upkeep our school facilities. All right, and so that's the second year. And the third year out, again, we're looking at slurry filling the asphalt at Meadowlark, high deserts, which is the concrete for the quad area, resealing the classrooms, floors at Vasquez, and then again, new roof replacements for high desert in the portable classrooms. In year 4,
Can I have you pause? Can I have you pause really quick? I'm so sorry to interrupt, but with the other board members logging into the same meeting, this makes 3 of us in the same meeting, and that's,
Correct. Yeah, we cannot have a quorum. I'm gonna head over, so forgive me. I'm gonna head over to the 4 o'clock at the board conference room, just to let them know that we'll be there momentarily, because it is 4 o'clock, and I'll let them know that can't be on the same Zoom meeting.
thank you.
Of course, good to see you. Thank you.
You too.
I think we'll pause for a little bit. until-
They jumped off, so you can go ahead.
Jumped
Thank
out.
you.
Okay, so then we're looking at year 4, the classroom furnitures. Like we like to have, as well as high desert, 21st century classrooms, 21st century furnitures, and then the play structure at Meadowlark is pretty old, so we would like to replace the play structure at Meadowlark as well. So the 4th year, we're looking at about $463,000. In essence, we're looking at close to $1.6 million just to fix our facilities, maintain our facility, and do a little upgrading and adding new features such as the shade structure and a playground structure, new furnitures in the classrooms, right? So I know that we looked at ways to generate revenues for the district, and we can definitely talk about that, where we can have getting donations from our local community or organizations, looking at possibly an education foundation administrator to come out and assist us in solicitation of creative ways of getting donations from our community, from corporate businesses to help fund some of these projects. But we have to look at ongoing sustaining revenues for the district to look at some of these projects. But we're open to other ideas. Brianna, if you have other ideas, or Paul, you have other ideas on how we can generate revenues for the district. Obviously, we don't want to use the general fund to implement all these projects, because that's going to hurt the district's budget, the district's finances, if we were to use general funds to support all these projects. Right. So that's something that we need to take a look at, how we can create revenues, generate revenues, ongoing sustaining revenues to pay for all these.
Can you
Mhm.
charge students for parking?
Right now, I don't think we are charging students for parking.
I don't think you can charge
I
students.
don't love that idea. I would like that to not even be a discussion, but that's my own personal opinion. I don't love that idea
I
at
don't
all.
know. I don't know if it's legal. That would be something we would want to check into. I know we can charge them because
I do-
we're public education.
I do know that when I was in high school,
Many years ago.
many moons ago, I was charged for parking.
Parking permit.
I had to pay for parking permit. But every place is a little different, and Paul brought up a good point. And but again, is that sustainable, and is that gonna, let's just say we generate $10,000. Would that cover some of these large projects that we have here? Obviously not. And, but these are just some ideas. Again, this is a big dollar amount. We just look at ways how we can be creative, how we can use our school facilities that we have right now, but also how can we also looked at ways where we can generate revenues where a community can buy bricks and put their name and the class the students graduated from. That can be a way to generate revenues. Silent auctions as an example, et cetera, et cetera.
Since we're talking about generating revenues, I would like to, for our next education subcommittee meeting, I would like to talk about ADA and attendance. If that's possible to make that our next agenda. Is this same Zoom meeting being used for the finance committee meeting?
It's
That's
not.
my understanding. I
It's
think we're
not.
gonna need another,
Yeah, so maybe we can start this meeting earlier next time or not, because a half an hour is,
this was just a mistake in scheduling. I have,
Okay.
so I just need to, it was just a mistake in scheduling. They usually do theirs on Monday and
and it was a holiday. Yeah,
Yeah, we
totally,
talked
totally
about-
understandable.
yeah, the three of us already talked about ensuring that we don't do this again, so I'm really sorry.
That's okay. That's okay, but I don't want to, I know that I was like 6 minutes late, so I don't want to interfere with their meeting. If we want to go ahead and wrap this one up so that they can get to their meeting and we're not interfering and you guys aren't working late, we can go ahead and do that.
Thanks, Brianna. Ernesto and I will leave for the other meeting, and while Jackie and Caesar will be here and Paula will be here to continue with the educational meeting.
Okay, but we're
All
also
right.
hijacking the same Zoom link. So either way, we can't do both meetings at the same time. I think that's what Sparks keeps logging in and logging out for,
Oh,
because he's trying to go to that meeting.
okay.
I can ask Yolanda to create another link for the education committee meeting and just send it to you guys.
You know, I think you guys can stay here. Let me
Okay.
go over to the facilities and finance meeting to make sure there's a different link. Because we can create
Okay,
multiple links, Zoom links.
We'll go
for-
ahead, we'll just go ahead and wrap this meeting up and be done and let the finance committee, and then we'll put whatever was on the rest of this agenda onto next time.
Okay, all right.
okay. So do you want the stuff I was gonna just do next time?
Is that okay? I know
Yeah,
you're presenting it at the board meeting anyway, right? Is it the same
Yes,
presentation?
ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
I am.
So let's just hear it at the open session board meeting and we can just all be surprised.
Okay, thank you.
I can't wait. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Tracy. I know I can't see your face and you're muted, but thank you very much for logging in. We appreciate it. And to all the gentlemen that left, ladies, will you please tell them thank you for coming, and then we will just see you next time. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you.
See you
All
next
right,
time.
so this meeting is adjourned. Okay, so future meeting agenda items. I would like to talk about ADA and attendance. And if we have any follow-up from the dashboard, because we won't need the presentation since we're gonna get it at the open session meeting. But if you have any follow-up from the dashboard, that would be great.
Okay, I'll add that to the next agenda. And our
Awesome.
next meeting is, I want to say it's in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It's on a Tuesday. I'll send out the invites again with the next agenda. Like I
Awesome.
know it's
Looks like
already on the calendar.
February 18th.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'll go ahead and log out and they can log in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, this
you.
meeting is adjourned at 4:09.